Shall we begin?
Welcome to the Happy MonsterCast. I'm your host, Scott Marchand Davis of Happy Monster Press.
Let's begin now.
This week on the Happy MonsterCast, the Foundry Monsters begin their adventures in Deadlands Noir, Chicago. Hard-boiled detectives Philip Marlowe and Victor Shaw run a two-bit detective agency on Chicago's West Side, trying to stay one step ahead of the Moran and Capone gangs. Now, on a windy Chicago morning, opportunity comes knocking on their office door. So to start off, I'm going to give you a little background on the setting here. The world changed on July 3rd, 1863 at the Battle of Gettysburg. In the midst of the battle, the dead rose and devoured the living. The Civil War dragged on, fueled by fear and hatred on both sides, and the dead, now called harrowed, kept rising. Then things got worse. In 1868, the Great Quake shattered the California coast, leaving a mess of sea canyons locals named the Great Maze. But the Great Quake revealed something else new, a substance that burned 5 times hotter and 10 times longer than coal. Californians named it ghost rock for the peculiar moaning wail it makes when burned. Ghost rock set off a scientific revolution, with inventors creating near-miraculous devices with the new fuel. It also set off the Maze Wars as the Union, Confederacy, independent industrialists, and Chinese warlords fought for control of the resource. In February of 1871, the Confederacy made an attack on Washington with ghost rock-powered weapons, but a desperate and well-led Union infantry held the line, and the Confederacy broke. Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered on April 9, 1871, and the Civil War was over, but America would never be the same. In 1866, Brigham Young founded the independent nation of Deseret in the former Utah Territory. In 1872, Sitting Bull formed the Sioux Nations in the Dakota Territories, and the city of Los Angeles, refounded after the Great Flood of 1880, is the capital of the independent California Commonwealth, formed in 1890. Even stranger, in 1881, something happened that prevented technology from functioning ever again in the Sioux Nations. Now, after the Great War, the American nations are in a time of prosperity, but not a time of peace. Religious and temperance activists have passed prohibition laws, and your city of Chicago is now divided among bootlegging gangs, Capone's Southside outfit and Bugs Moran's Northside gang. Over 25,000 speakeasies dot the city, and corruption is everywhere. Irish immigrant Eden Battlein Burke holds his position as mayor tenuously, and rumor has it he is in Moran's pocket. Meanwhile, scientists at the University of Chicago explore ever more exotic applications of ghost rock, and newly appointed Special Agent Elliot Ness is just beginning his feud with Al Capone. That is where we begin. And we're going to start in the private investigation offices run by Victor Shaw and Philip Marlowe. So where in Chicago is your PI office? North side, south side?
Said Capone's down in the south, right?
Capone runs the south side, Moran runs the north.
I'd say south side. That's just me.
Jung Soo, you know Chicago. Any thoughts? Geography is pretty much the same.
Yeah, I would actually imagine that I'm kind of on the border, so a little west of the downtown area.
So maybe over by Douglas Park?
Yeah.
Which on the map is right here. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to play sides. You don't want to play sides with potential customers.
That is a very good point. So let's plop you down in your office here. And so one fine afternoon, as you are wondering how you're going to make rent, there comes a knocking on your door.
Do we have a much put upon secretary who'll get that, or do we have to get it ourselves?
Alas, money's tight, and you can't afford a secretary right now.
Oh,
I got the last one. Your
body.
turn.
I'll get the door.
Okay. You've gone over, and you find a young lady. She says, are you the detectives?
Step aside and point her to a chair.
All right. I heard rumors that you're good at finding lost things and lost people.
It depends, sweetheart. What'd you lose?
My grandmother's missing. She disappeared after church last Sunday.
How long ago was that? What is today?
Today is Tuesday. So it's a fine Tuesday afternoon.
Well, missing persons. Did you go to the police?
They're not helpful.
Well, where did you see her last?
Well, Grandma always goes to Old St. Patrick's down on the west side. She has ever since she was a little girl. She never misses a Sunday and always lights a candle. Besides, Mrs. Mango and Mrs. Tooley saw her there. The police say she just wandered off, or that she was meeting some man. Grandma would never. She hasn't been back since, and I've posted a $200 reward for her safe return, and even that hasn't got the police to find her, the lazy good-for-nothings. Father O'Shaughnessy told me the Berger saw her get into a green car with some big men, but then he told me the police would handle it, and they're not. He starts to cry.
Sure, baby, sure. We'll look into it for you.
Okay, the accent is going to kill me.
Wait till I get to my
shake
gangsters.
my head.
You shake your head.
No.
All right, so I would like you both to make notice rolls.
And what do we know about? I don't know anything about St. Pat's. Or
In that case, also please make common knowledge rolls. And if either of you has Streetwise, you would get a bonus on that for Streetwise, which is +2, I believe.
Solid.
I do have Streetwise, so I have no idea what I'm rolling, or if I did even.
You did. Yeah, you are, what color are you? You are yellow, so I should change my color so it's not the same as yours. So yes, common knowledge. So both of you have some familiarity with, let's see, what is not in use here. Go for bright orange.
So I do have Streetwise, by the way.
So you both have some familiarity with oops. I don't need an additional penny. I need to change my user configuration. There we go. Okay. All right. So you have some familiarity with Old St. Pat's. It's a grand old Irish Catholic cathedral, the sort of place that you would expect an Irish grandma to go for mass. You also, Philip, looking over Miss Halloran, she doesn't look like the sort of person who would have $200 to throw around. Yeah, she's clearly wearing her Sunday best, and it's not that great. It's not expensive.
Well, baby, just so you know, our rates, we're going to require at least half up front.
Okay. I can cash these in. She reaches into her pocket and she pulls out a pair of coins. She says, I know I shouldn't be touching them, but after all, they're grandmother's, and I'm only selling them to get her back. Mr. Scheidler said they were real valuable, and he'd give me $100 a piece for them. She said not to touch them, that they were for her funeral, but if she doesn't come back, there can't even be a funeral. She burst into tears again.
What's your grandmother's name?
Margaret. Her name's Margaret. Margaret Halloran.
I'm assuming it doesn't ring any bells, or should I do a common knowledge roll?
You could, but yeah, it's just random Irish grandma. Doesn't ring any bells.
Okay. Let's take a look at these coins.
That you need to make a common knowledge roll at -2.
Oh, man.
Because the first thing you notice about them without needing the common knowledge roll is their gold. They have an Indian head on them, and they're minted in 1877.
So they're probably real gold, at least.
Almost certainly real gold, yeah.
I mean, we're still on the gold standard, right? So.
Good question. I'm not actually sure in 27 whether we were still on the gold standard or not.
I think so.
So yeah, neither of you is really familiar with them. So, it seemed plausible that they might be worth $100 a piece. Mr. Scheidler might be playing straight.
1933.
27.
Yeah, so in 33, U.S. went off the gold standard.
Okay, so we're still on the gold standard. All right. So she says, I guess I could just give you one of these now, or I could go see Mr. Scheidler and come back with the $100.
It's okay, baby. We'll take the coin for
coin.
now.
Okay.
Yeah. The name Scheidler doesn't ring any bells either, right? It's not like a pawn shop owner or anything that we recognize.
Common knowledge rolls again. And Streetwise does apply.
Okay.
All right.
You're in the right neighborhood for him anyway.
Any negatives or just roll straight?
Straight roll. Okay, yeah, you've both run into this pawn shop before. He's a coin dealer here on the west side, not too far from your offices. So he is.
Oh.
He is. You could definitely go and check out what's going on with him.
Okay, and he's not like squirrely.
Not that you're aware of. You haven't had occasion to do any coin trades with him though, so who knows?
Okay.
Sorry, what was the name of the place that she was last seen?
St. Pat's Church?
Yep, Old St. Patrick's on the west side. So for investigation in Deadlands Noir, you basically need to tell me what kind of thing you're looking into. And there's two basic modes that investigations happen. One is you can do research. So if you wanted to hit, let's say that you wanted to hit newspaper archives to dig something up, or the local library or something like that, those would be research rolls. The other alternative is networking. Networking is you go out and hit the streets and you're talking to people. And there's a couple of ways that can play out. One, you can do it the nice way or the not so nice way. In the case of the nice way, you're using persuasion, and for maximum effectiveness, you usually want to spread around a little money. In the case of the not so nice way, you're using intimidation, which means you're roughing people up. That can occasionally backfire. So then the question is, where do you want to look? Including checking out this Mr. Scheidler guy.
I was thinking of starting with Father whomever who saw who Miss Halloran talked to and said, "Oh yeah, the police will take care of it." And it sounded like he saw something according to her story, or no?
He said he saw her get into a car. You also, and
so he saw something.
The Berger saw her get into a car.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So let's talk to them.
Yeah, we should definitely go check out them.
Yeah.
So do you want to round up your Scooby gang to do that, which I would recommend so that everyone else can play?
Sure. Let's call up the usual suspects.
Yep. All right. So you round up your Scooby gang here. They all know you from one. They've basically all worked with you on cases in the past. Is how it plays out. So you're all familiar with these guys, and you know that if they've got a variety of skills that might be useful in this kind of investigation. So you head over to the church. There's the doors are open. You can go in. It looks like they're wrapping up taking confession for the day. And you see an older gentleman weeding the flower beds out front as well.
I'll stand watch, since my character would probably be best at just making sure no trouble happens.
What exactly is the Berger anyway?
Basically, he's like a groundskeeper.
Okay. So, would the guy weeding the beds, that would be a reasonable guess, I would imagine.
Yeah, very likely the individual in question, yeah.
Yeah, excuse me, sir. You the Berger around here?
Hi. Frank Doyle's the name. Can I help you, sir?
Sure. We're looking for Mrs. Halloran. Nice little Irish granny.
I already told the cops everything. Beat it.
Cooperative.
I'll insist that I step up and go over to him, and I'll just say, like, may I, to the detectives first. And if they,
sympathy for a granddaughter's sorrow? What kind of Christian are you?
Give me a persuasion roll. And if you want to support with intimidation, Frankie, why don't you make an intimidation roll first?
Yeah.
In support of that
my knuckles while she's doing that.
Okay, so do the intimidation roll first.
I'm happy to do that too.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oof.
Okay.
Not bad.
That will suffice. There's no call for hostility. Yeah, I saw the lady get into a car with the green car with some good-sized gentlemen. That's all I can tell you.
Good-sized, like me?
He sort of looks you up and down. In that neighborhood, yeah.
Can you give me a better description on the car? I mean, was it a two-door? Was it convertible?
What's the make? Come on.
I don't.
I can tell make and model. That guy would know.
I don't know these newfangled motor coaches, but it had 4 doors. I can tell you that. Wouldn't have fit them all otherwise.
Did you get any good looks at any of the faces?
Just at a distance, a couple of redheads, a blonde and a brunette. That helps.
These are gentlemen?
Yes.
And they didn't have hats on? How could you see the color of their hair?
Well, they had hats on, but you can I saw the backs of their heads.
Okay, so Sunday was a sunny day.
Beautiful day on Sunday. A little dry though. I've had to water the beds.
Plus Granny. I see.
Do I know I have any?
So were there 3 gentlemen who helped her in?
Pardon?
Were there 3 gentlemen who helped her in?
Actually 4.
To the car?
4.
4 men.
Redhead, 2 blondes, and a brunette.
She looked like she knew them?
2 redheads, 1 blonde, one brown-haired man. I can't say for certain, but I wouldn't say that she's an acquaintance. I certainly haven't seen them around here before.
Did she look like she was willing to go with them?
That I can't say. Perhaps the father would know more.
Sure. By any chance you didn't catch any of the license plate number, even a partial?
That's that. Those are those funny numbers on the back of the car. No, didn't pay any attention to that.
Oh, okay.
This guy looks like he was born during the Civil War, so yeah.
Crazy kids in their moving vehicles, their license plates and mechanics and post steampunk.
What's wrong with a good old horse?
Where the hell is the horse? Who's pulling that car?
Well, thanks for the info, old timer.
Ah,
What's his name, by the way? Mr. Doyle?
Frank Doyle.
Is
Yeah,
that-
that's my name.
Frank Doyle. Got it.
Maybe Father O'Shaughnessy can tell you something more.
Let's talk to Father O'Shaughnessy.
Okay, so as you go in, he's coming out of the confessional. And he says, sort of looks you up and down, gives kind of a hard stare to Marcus, then says,
I light my cigar and take a big drag, get comfortable in one of the pews.
now
In the middle of church.
now he gives you a really hard stare and says, peace be with you.
Oh, boy.
And you, Father.
Still glares at you.
We were hoping that we could ask you some questions about Mrs. Halloran on Sunday.
I've already spoken to police. Don't have any interest in speaking to you.
Well, it looks like the police are not able to help out. What was the granddaughter's name? Young
Katie.
Miss Katie Halloran. She's very sad, very distraught.
Perhaps they'd help me out in escorting you off my premises.
That's not very fatherly, Father. You know, that little girl, she's looking for her grandmother, and anything that you could do to help would go a long way.
Give me a persuasion roll.
God, I'm trying to do intimidation, but I'm not able to bring up the item.
Let me see
When
here.
I click on it, I don't get the option to make the roll.
Dr. Harrison.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it works for me anyway. Not sure why it's not working for you.
No, I mean,
That's
it
so
highlights
weird.
when
It
I
says,
mouse over, it highlights, but I can't bring it up to roll it.
Doesn't click on it. Huh, weird. If you need to roll anything and it doesn't work, let me know. So he says, nevertheless, I must insist that you leave. But you feel like you might have swayed him a little bit.
Father, the girl was in my office just today and bawling her eyes out about her grandmother not coming home. Please, if there's anything that you can do to help her, help us find her. Yeah, it would help gratefully.
Give me another persuasion roll. Oh, very nice. Okay. He says, he sort of looks around kind of furtively and says, tell you what, young man, meet me in an hour around the corner at the elevated diner. And perhaps I can tell you a bit more.
Thank you very much, Father. I'll see you then.
All right. So you,
Let's make sure we leave a donation for the church before we leave.
okay. So you've got an hour or
Thanks
so
for your
to
help,
kill.
Father.
You could canvass the neighborhood if you want to.
Yeah, we should ask
Yeah,
around.
let's kind of look around.
Yeah, that might be good to talk to people around and see if we can get anything out of them.
All right. So in order to for maximum effectiveness, you're going to have to put some money into this. So the way this is going to play out is, if you want to try to again, hard way or easy way, and you can split up and do both. if you choose. So it's not like you have to pick one or the other.
I'd kind of like to check out the two women friends who saw her at the church.
You didn't
Kate
get
mentioned.
contact information for them. You know the names, but you don't know where to find them. So this is going to be, if you do it the nice way, it's going to be a persuasion roll at -2. But if you throw out, if you put in $20 to spread some cash, or sorry, $10 to spread some cash around, then you can get a bonus of +1, and $20 you can get a bonus of +2.
I don't look like I have a lot of money.
I believe this is why my particular set of skills were called into.
Yeah.
I prefer to inquire the hard way.
Yeah.
With intimidation.
I'm kind of
all right. Now you can get a +2. It's going to be -2 in general, but you can get a +2 by being extra violent.
Can I roll up with somebody and do like a good cop, bad cop type of scenario?
No, that's not going to work in this particular scenario. You can split up and do good cop, bad cop, but not in not together.
Okay.
Well, I'm good at intimidation, but I'm lousy at persuasion. So if I'm going to be if we're going to team pair up, good cop, bad cop, I would be a good bad cop. Effective. I would be an.
So how do you want to play this? Do you want to try the nice way first, see how it goes, then maybe after you meet with the priest, kick around the hard way?
Yeah, let's
something up.
Just.
Okay, so
yeah, I would rather not bring too much attention to us right now.
Sure.
We have no idea what's going on and who these guys are looking for Granny.
So Jack, do you want to throw out some cash and do a little persuading?
I can spread some love and do a little well. Do we have somebody who's maybe a little more persuasive? It's a little early in the day for me. I still get some dark rings under my eyes, and I'm not entirely sure why I'm awake.
If you fund Philip, I think Philip might be one of your better persuaders.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's anybody better than he is. It doesn't look that way.
Philip, my friend,
my persuasion's not bad. Hey, Phil, what's your Philip?
No, actually,
what do I call you?
Victor is. You can call him Philip.
I'm a D8.
Yeah. So Victor, you're probably the best at persuading. So with the 20, so give me a persuasion roll. It's a straight roll, and Jack, take $10 or take $20 off your funds there. Okay, so you ask around a bit, and you get some info, but you're not going to be able to act on it right away. You run into a you ask around a bit, and you run into this guy Anton Kozlowski, and he says, "Yes,
Kozlowski."
Yeah.
Oh man.
He says, I heard something about the green car from at the bakery around the corner. Young Giuseppe, have charming little fellow. You should check with him at the end of his shift. It's I think he wraps up around 6. So you've got
Wait, so you heard Giuseppe talk about a green car, or Giuseppe owns a green car?
No, I heard Giuseppe talk about the green car.
Is Giuseppe his last name? Does he have a first?
I don't know his last name. Giuseppe is first name. It's one of those Italian names. You know what I'm talking.
Let's just walk by the bakery.
Okay.
Does it look like mafia?
Don't forget to grab some donuts.
Yeah, what kind of place are we checking out here?
No,
I'm a little streetwise.
It looks like it doesn't. It looks like a legitimate bakery business. They've got some. This time of day, it's mostly bread in the window, some muffins, things like that.
The big sign that says "No, really, we're a legitimate bakery."
Yes, there's a nice cake in there. I mean, if they're maybe they're laundering money, but they've got a nice window display. So what do you do? All right, so it's coming up on time to head to the diner, and so assuming you do, you find.
By the way, could we tell who Giuseppe was in the bakery?
So you kind of poked your head in, and nobody looked like a charming young man.
You know what? Let me just I'll buy, I don't know, a small piece of bread. Say, hey, is Giuseppe working today?
Oh, Giuseppe. I have him on. He's running down to the market for eggs for the baking for the night. You know Giuseppe?
Okay. So a friend of mine told me that if I came to the bakery, I should ask for Giuseppe.
Oh, such a good boy. He should be back in an hour or two.
Okay, thank you so much. And what's your name?
My name Vincenzo.
So, thank you. Beautiful bakery you've got here.
Oh, so you're so kind.
Okay.
Come back anytime.
That's it. Thank you so much.
You find when you peek in the bag afterwards, they threw some biscotti in with your bread.
No cannoli.
Nice.
I like Giuseppe.
Cannolis are in this era are probably special order.
Yeah, refrigeration's not really a thing.
It is, but it's fairly primitive. Like if the refrigerator fails, it can kill you. Yeah, they were using ammonia for refrigeration, so not so good.
Wow.
So the elevated diner is tucked in under the train. It's a bit of a dump. Definitely more of a dive diner, not the kind of place where you want to be a little bit suspicious about what you're eating, and a little bit grubby. But when you go in, you see the father sitting in a booth in the back corner.
I go ahead and I sit next to him.
All right. So as you kind of pile into the booth, he says he's clearly very nervous. He's looking around, seeing if anybody's watching. He says, "Thanks for meeting me."
Why so tense, Father?
Thank you.
You don't know what it's like. Without this church, these boys, all the other old women, the ones you don't care about, they wouldn't have anywhere. This is an Italian neighborhood now, and the donations don't come in. Not like when St. Pat's was the only Irish church in Chicago. Don't worry about Mrs. Halloran. She's as tough as they come. Has been ever since she was just a girl, and I've heard she's just fine. No harm has come to her, I mean to say.
Father, come on. Spill the beans. I know you're hiding something.
Let's just say that a certain organization on the north side has taken an interest in Mrs. Halloran.
Now, why would such an organization be interested in such a sweet old lady?
Oh, that I can't say. But that organization, I need them for the church. I can't afford to alienate them. You understand?
Sure. I understand. Why don't you just let me know what or where I can find this organization?
Where can't you find them? Any speakeasy on the north side, my son.
Yeah, I see. Well, thanks for the info, Father.
Do you know when she's coming back? Do you know when they're sending her back?
That I can't say. Just that that my contacts in that organization say that she's just fine.
But I know the organization he's referencing. Since
you can all make common knowledge rolls to see if you can figure out what he's talking about.
Okay.
And you could potentially, if you can potentially. Okay, so some of you at least will know this.
I'm still not.
I know what's going on.
No need to in this particular case. It is. You're pretty confident that what he's talking about is the North Side Gang, Moran's people.
Let me ask you, Father, can you get me in touch with any of your contacts? Think any of them will talk to us?
That I can't say, but like I said, you can find members of that organization just about anywhere on the north side.
Well, I don't want to just be walking around asking every Tom, Dick, and Harry if they know a particular Miss Halloran. So I'm kind of hoping that you can give me a little bit more, a little bigger of a lead.
I'm afraid I can't put my church at risk, my son. I have to go. And he gets up and leaves.
Is there any place that I would know of? Any particular speakeasy? Maybe ask some of my colleagues here if they regular a joint or know of a joint.
Yeah, finding Moran bars is not hard at all.
Would I know anyone?
Yeah, I would imagine.
With my criminal dealings, would I ever dealt with this gang?
You've dealt with them, yeah. You could probably dig up somebody you've dealt with in the past.
Okay.
Same thing with
What's the reputation?
with Eli, the North Side gang. They basically control the north side of Chicago. They control the speakeasies, get protection money from all the businesses. The police won't touch them with a 10-foot pole. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, looks like we're heading to the north end. Or the north side.
If I have a contact that I know.
I was going to say the north end. Are we going to go watch a play or something?
My bad. The north side.
What's the plan for the evening? I'm a little confused.
But no, if I have a contact, then I would suggest that they meet the detectives. Detectives talk to them.
By this time, you probably could catch Giuseppe at the bakery.
Yeah, let's go talk to Giuseppe.
All right, so
I trust the bakery is actually good. Like like all the stuff tastes like it's a legitimate bakery as opposed to some front.
It's delicious.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
You're thinking, yeah, I should come back there, regularly because it's not that far from the office.
Yeah.
All right, so you go back and you see a young man mopping the floor.
Hey, Giuseppe.
Oh, do I know you?
A friend told me that you were the nicest guy in this bakery and came by, had some biscotti, had some bread. Victor was really good to us.
Victor? Oh, you mean
I just wanted to say
Vincenzo.
hello.
Yeah, some people get his name wrong.
Vincenzo. Sorry.
Yeah. I know it's some of the Italian names are hard to say. I get it.
So he's like fluent in English. He's not a fresh off the boat or anything.
No, definitely fluent. Okay. He's probably born in the U.S. You think?
Okay.
So, and you heard from.
So, is there anybody else in the bakery, or
yeah,
can we
Vincenzo's
just
behind the counter?
Oh, okay. Well, that's embarrassing. Mistake the name.
He sort of chuckles and says, we only just met, my friends. He seems very good natured.
All right, cool.
Oh, good.
Giuseppe, let me ask you, do you know a Miss Halloran?
Yeah.
Miss Halloran? Don't think so. Does she buy her bread here?
No, it's a little old lady, and I guess she met some gentleman who took her away in a green car.
Oh, the green car.
And
yeah,
somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a little embarrassing. Can we talk about this outside?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So
embarrassing.
So he steps out for a minute. He says, "Vincenzo, can I take a minute with these people?" And he's like, "Oh, sure, go ahead." So he steps outside. He says, "Okay, I should be in church on Sunday. I should have gone to mass, but
that's what he's embarrassed about." Okay,
no, it's a little more embarrassing, only a little. But
okay,
I came down to the bakery. I came down to the bakery instead because. My girl, Louisa, she has a real sweet tooth. So I wanted to bake her some cookies. So I snuck into the bakery to bake cookies, and when I came in, I saw this real eye popper of a green Buick Master 6 parked across the street. And then it drove down to the church. I figured they were picking somebody up after the service.
Did you get a good look of the gentleman that got into the vehicle?
They were in the vehicle when it was parked, but it looked like there were 4 of them in there, kind of full up there. Beautiful car, love it. I'd like to have one like that myself someday.
Yeah, do you know? Did you see what kind of model it was?
Yeah, a Buick Master 6. Beautiful car.
You didn't catch the license plate on that Vic by any chance, did you?
Oh,
come on, think real hard.
I think it had an A and an E, maybe, but I can't say that I made a special note of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure A and an E. I don't know. I don't remember any of the rest.
Was that the beginning 2 letters?
Whoa.
I'm not sure. Sorry.
What do you know what year that was? That Buick Master 6?
No, it was a late model. Probably a 26.
Huh.
Apparently, you can buy it on Google.
Did it? Now, I'm not much of a car guy, so you'll have to describe it a little more. Was it a soft top, hard top?
No, hard top, 4-door, white walls.
Ooh, beautiful car.
Chrome shiny enough to see your face in it. Nice sedan.
Sedan.
Just called it a sedan. Nice.
Yeah, I'd love to have a car like that, although I'd like a ragtop myself.
Sure. Well, thanks for the tip.
You didn't see which way it went afterwards, did you?
I didn't see it come back, so it must have gone somewhere else after hitting the church.
The other way?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I was headed over to Louisa's with the cookies. Please don't tell Vincenzo. I nabbed the flour and sugar and stuff for the cookies from the bakery. He looks very, very
Naughty
sheepish.
Boy. You seem like a good kid.
Oh, thank you, mister. I better get back to work.
Mention it.
I better get back to work. Hope you find her.
Yeah. Yep. And thank Vincenzo for the biscotti. Delicious.
Thanks for the tip, kid.
You got it, mister. All right.
So can I
time to go get a drink.
Actually, I was going to ask if I could make a phone call maybe to my contacts in the police department.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they can get a hold of like the Bureau of or Registry of Motor Vehicles or whatever. See how many 27 Buick Master 6s there are.
Be that many.
Yeah, exactly. It's the 1920s. There aren't that many cars yet.
So I would I'll go back into the bakery and ask them if it would be all right if I use their phone.
They'll cost you a nickel, but otherwise you're welcome to it.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so you plop down the nickel, you call up the your contacts, the police force, and
Lieutenant Ibarra, please.
Sorry, the lieutenant's left for the day.
All right. Can you tell him that Philip Marlowe was looking for him? Give me a ring back at my office.
I'll make a note of it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So in the meantime, it's evening. The bars are hopping. You could potentially start hitting some speakeasies and see what you can dig up, or you could start canvassing the north side for a green Buick Master 6. Or you might have other ideas.
Let's do both. Let's go get a drink and see what's parked outside.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Yeah, if somebody wants to canvass the area, that sounds tiring.
Well,
somebody else can do it.
Unless we go like
especially since none of you have a car.
We go like right. So we go
That's
go to a service station and say, hey, right now, I mean, they have to come in to have their, tablets
Service.
reset and their fuel fluids topped off and all that.
I mean, who sells Buicks? It must have been recent.
Yeah, there are some dealerships on the north side. Yeah, you could definitely try that too. So I'd like research roles to dig into this.
Strangely, I do not have research.
Well, you're not all about digging the records, but Philip is. So you come up with a Buick dealership, and after a little bit of fast talk, you get the name. You get you get the name Nate Cernick, and you also get the information that he, the guy's trying to sell you a Buick, basically. So he's pretty talkative.
Of course.
And you get the information that he likes to hang out at a Speakeasy on Armitage, which is right here.
All right.
Okay.
Is that like deep into the mob's territory?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay. Oh, good.
I think all of it's going to be.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be definitely going to be a Moran operation for the Speakeasy.
Moran operation?
Yeah. Bugsy Moran, the North Side Gang.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah, let's do it.
So you roll up on this Speakeasy here. And the entrance is right here. And as you walk up, you notice a green Buick Master 6.
What's the license number?
It's got an A and an E in it.
Everybody write it down.
Yeah, I'd like to write that down. What's the license plate number?
It is BAE 374.
I start getting nervous.
And all right. And that is where we will.
I can keep watch outside.
And that is where we are going to leave it for tonight. So we'll see what happens.
That's a good idea, guys.
So we'll see what happens when you hit the Speakeasy.
All right.
You can follow Happy Monster Press on Facebook as Happy Monster Press, at our website, happymonsterpress.com, Twitter as Happy Monster PRS, or follow the podcast on YouTube, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, iTunes, or Google Play Music. The Happy Monster Cast is part of the Savage Worlds Media Network. This game references the Savage Worlds game system available from Pinnacle Entertainment Group at www.peginc.com. It is unofficial media content, permitted under the Media Network Content Agreement. This content is not managed, approved, or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Certain portions of the materials used are the intellectual property of Pinnacle, and all rights are reserved. Savage Worlds, all related settings and unique characters, locations, and characters, logos, and trademarks are copyrights of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. All other content is the intellectual property of Happy Monster Press. Music, Ice Cold by Jason Shaw. And Soft Despair by Unheard Music Concepts.
Oh, for sure.